Man, I freaking love NEI. I guess it comes double Halloween. Oh, this is awesome. NEI is like, I'm also joining in. And this anime is over top, man. I love it. Yeah, NEI goes in there like, like, Bartek! Yeah. She goes even sort of lightning coming, weird buttock scene. Snyder, never surrender. But this is so that Snyder's like, I will fly into the skeleton and throw it. Man, a powerful end scene actually, yeah. Powerful Yoko. His waifu Mitchell, man. It's amazing strategy. Right, finally, yeah. The waifu support is back. Come on, finally, man. It's Kai and Sean, man. It's great, man. It's like the other wives are coming in. He's like, love makes you weak. He's like, no, it doesn't. Because I got an army of waifus! I can just imagine how hated this anime is gonna be by the Volk, right? Yeah, imagine this in here. Oh my god. Review, guys, of Bastard, right? So, first of all, let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about it in the first part of review, right? Is it ham? Is it ecchi and so on? The anime is very ecchi, okay? The anime is extremely ecchi, right? A lot of fight scenes. I mean, it's supposed to be dark fantasy, right? So, immediately, the biggest scene is still probably the slime scene, right? When Yoko gets kidnapped by Gara, pushed in a dungeon, set by a slime. Of course, the slime was clothing, and she gets like slime attack. That was probably the most visual scene in the whole anime, right? The second scene is probably this fight here, actually. So while Sean is crying, Yoko is grabbed by Abigail, right? And he has this bow tackle, so he grabs her with that. He has a shield in front of Dark Snyder, right? And that also was very, very sexualized, right? Yeah, to some extent, but that being said, though, the anime certainly feels somewhat woke. That makes any sense. And I want to point out massively here, right, in my first review, because the anime certainly bugs me in that sense, right, that it clearly is like a Netflix anime, right, and it reminds me a lot. We did, this week I also did the Cyberpunk full review, right, so it's a clip on that thing. Cyberpunk, also a good anime, right, and, you know, oppa is an ecchi, and, you know, some fight scenes, cute girls or whatever, right, for Studio Trigger. That anime has the same issue, right. You know what I mean? Like, Netflix is like, it is not safe for work, and it's super ecchi or whatever, but they actually never do anything Cyberpunk, right? And I also that made the anime bad or whatever, but a little bit, yeah, honestly. I feel that definitely increased it a little bit more, right? Because they have this bloobs, right? They have Lucy and Kiwi, and you see their oppas several times in Cyberpunk, but nothing ever actually happens, right? They don't even basically show them kissing, you know what I mean? And that is kind of lame, right? You know? Now, I must say you need to have this like super visual, I would say like a little bit, right? To make the world feel more immersed or whatever. And this anime, it actually shows more actual what's happening. Like Doc Snyder actually, you know, takes Kai to the bedroom or whatever, right? And also Sean is on to the bedroom. But again, right, they go in this weird way where they keep censoring the angles, right? Like Yoko falling from the cliff in the next scene here. She's falling off, right? And the rocks kind of fall over her, so you can't actually see her body, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, like it just feels unnecessary, right? Because this anime clearly should have been like an 18, you know, like, you know, this anime is a manga, right? Based on the 80s, right? You know, a manga that started in the 80s, similar to, of course, Berserk and so on, right? So I think it's very, very silly, and I think it's a massive disservice, right? And it sounds weird to say that, oh, this anime is terrible because they don't show the boobs or whatever, but it just feels kind of weird how, you know, it just feels very Western woke, right, you know? And I really mean it, right, because to me, and I always have this comparison, but it feels a lot to me like Mortal Kombat, right? So in Mortal Kombat, you can have this ultra violence, you know what I mean? You can have people being cut in half, you can have all this weird action, right? But God forbid you show an oppa, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I hate it, right? This is a perfect scene of it, right? We see Yoko falling in this space team, right? But it just bugs me, right? Because she's literally falling, you know, like floating in space, you know what I mean? They get teleported, right? So she's floating in space for like, I said, 3 minutes, whatever, right? And during this float, you clearly see her whole body, right? You know, there's no rocks anymore. Before she got teleported, it was like rocks and falling from the floor, right? But now she says she's flying into this, you know, space shit, right? And she's floating in space, and instead of then, you know, you showing her body, right? They're like half-ass drawing it. And it actually really reminded me of Cyberpunk, because that's how they did Cyberpunk when Lucy is doing the hacking, and when she's not running in Cyberpunk, Lucy gets into this like weird black-white space thing, right? Exact same thing in Cyberpunk, unfortunately. Like, she's flying in this weird space thing, and they're drawing her, you know, purposely ugly. You know what I mean? They're drawing ugly. This guy seems to me it's just bad, right? It's just bad. And another one, I mean, it sounds funny, starting the review by complaining like, the anime should be more hentai, you know. But, yeah, it is too heavily censored. because all of these scenes, these to me look wacky, right? You know, we have a woman flying in space, right? She lost her clothing earlier, right, in the fight, and now she's like being teleported and blah blah blah. You get my point. And then she's there, and instead of just drawing her completely, we are like, no, we're gonna censor that. So we're gonna draw her this weird, ugly way, sensitive and Lucy, and it just bugs me because it ruins the scene. It makes the scene looks, because the thing is that one issue is that I am fully aware that Netflix is censoring it, right? So it breaks my immersion to some extent that I'm fully aware of it. But I'm also fully aware that there's no way the manga did this, you know what I mean? There's no way the manga did this. So it's very, very clear as a production thing. First, we have all this different stuff, obviously in the array, right? And then this kind of like ugly space flying thing, on purpose ugly, right? And to me, it breaks my immersion, right? Because I'm fully aware that, again, that they are doing this from a, side standpoint, right? Like to appease the evil gods of the West or whatever, right? Like if it was an actual anime, done by just a Japanese company, no way about Netflix, they probably would show it. And it's, I said to me, because just like Cyberpunk, Netflix claims its anime is, super, badass and, hot, but it isn't, right? They ruin it to some extent, right? It really is. So that's the first thing, yeah. It should be way more edgy, but they really say too much. That's it. And I say it first here. I started the review by talking about censorship, but really, right? The opposite is that when Abigail dies, right? This is before he dies. He's falling off a cliff here, right? After this thing is gonna land and be impaled on a tower, right? It's gonna explode in this like fountain of blood, right? And that's what I mean. It really feels like Mortal Kombat to me, right? Where it is okay. It's okay to have the character, right, getting like completely destroyed, right? And Dark Snyder kills basically every bad guy, right? It's not an anime where the good guy, the main character, doesn't kill them. He kills every bad guy, more or less, right? So yeah, he falls down and his body just explodes, right? And it turns into this tentacle monster which explodes even more into a nuke. But again, my point is that, from an action standpoint, right? The anime is very, very like 18 plus Netflix, right? But everything when it comes to the waifus is like, no, we're gonna not show that. And it bugs me because that to me makes it even worse, right? Honestly, I say it in every anime, game, whatever, right? But if it's gonna be censored, right, on the ecchi stuff, you just censor the violence too, right? Or vice versa, right? Because it's like 18 plus, brutality, right? When it comes to the action, right? But not then when it comes to the other stuff. And again, that's why I call it the Mortal Kombat issue, right? Mortal Kombat is a perfect example of, here's the woman, she's fighting in a burqa, but you can cut her in 5 pieces, right? Yeah. Mortal Kombat has like, here's a woman, she has to fight in a burqa, but you can kill her and this can happen, so on. But God forbid we show a little bit of like cleavage, yeah. Like God forbid we see skin or something, right? So that it does bug me because this anime has the same issue, like straight up, right? It does show way more cleavage. This anime has a lot of cleavage, especially with Nado. Don't get me wrong, this anime is very, very ecchi though. It still is very ecchi, but that's a weird ecchi thing where nothing actually ever happens. They're censoring the final bit. Let's continue the review, right? No more ecchi now. The action is great in the anime. Yeah, it looks great. The cool action scenes. Obviously, it's an anime that has a lot of ecchi stuff and a lot of fights, right? The storyline is kind of funny, but from an action standpoint, the anime works really well. There's a lot of cool scenes and so on, right? But definitely, kind of, if you like these isekais, right? The over the top, something like, for example, slime or usually isekais, right? But don't have it. The anime feels similar to that, right? Of course, it's a much older manga, but it feels similar to that because it's very over the top, and the main character dies like 10 times and goes back, right? And it's very much like, now pay them this thing is all right. So the action is very, very explosive, right? And nothing really seems to matter for all the main characters. Yeah, they're just like, I can throw 10 more fireballs or whatever. Yeah, I can summon a god or something. Yeah, they always have some amazing power up the sleeve. I really loved yesterday when we did the NEI versus Abigail fight. She literally did a bleach thing. Yeah, she was like, oh, everyone calls me the thunder goddess because I have this like thunder sword and I do thunder stuff. But actually, my real power is wind magic. Like, it made no sense, She's like, I am known as Empress of Thunder, but actually, I'm the Empress of Wind or something, and my wind magic is even better. But it sounds lame to be called, a wind empress. That's why I'm a thunder empress. You're like, sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her power up is just straight up out of her ass. Her huge ass just pulls up her wind magic. It's like, I'm actually a wind magician. You know what I mean? Like, it's absurd in that sense, right? But that's why I think it's fun too, because yeah, it's just like, okay, sure. Like, it's just, So of course, if you like something like Bleach and so on, right, this anime works for you. It's definitely shonen and so on, right? Yeah, like it's a very, very kind of dumb action anime, definitely to some extent, right? And that's where I think the anime works, though. Don't get me wrong with censorship. I'm annoyed with all those yucks and so on because I'm frustrated. But of course, the anime has this I think works well in the anime. Yeah, this was well, right? So the anime is very much, you know, big sword, big ass, big boobs, right? Yeah, it's an anime about everything is big, right? So if you like that, the anime is really good. I love the anime because even though I started out, I wanted to at first address, you know, kind of the censorship, right? Which I felt is unfortunately a big must of the anime. This stuff though was great, right? Because every goddamn fight though, we see NEI and she's always like, no, oh, my big ass. Yeah, it's always this kind of stupidity, right? How she got this weird outfit, and you know, it's every character, not just her. Obviously, NEI is the most curvy one by far. She's super thick, right? But every character, right? You know, Shin, Kai, Yoko, you know, Sheila, all of them, right? This bunch of waifus, right? And they're always like, you know, constantly like, oh no, in this angle is alright. So, but that's I think the anime really works well though, because it really feels like a typical old school fantasy, right? Dark fantasy, yeah. With all, of course, every lady's gonna fight in a skimpy bikini, right? And it's always gonna be these weird angles where they hold a sword up and this is like showing off her ass or whatever, yeah. It's always gonna be like, you know, let's fight! And then it's like, you know, her gigantic butt is gonna like come out on the scene where she like flexes her sword or something, right? And the anime absolutely succeeds, right? So, in the kind of softness, right? In the soft, edgy way, not actual stuff happening, but it's like kind of comedically, you know, over large. But that's like I feel the anime is at the best again. Right? Big explosions, big swords, you know, big tits, big boobs, whatever. Yeah, big asses. Everything's just big. Everything is massive. Everything is like badunkas, you know, badunka, bakunyo, right? Explosive oppies, yeah, bakunyo, everything, right? That's where the anime really shines, I feel. And so if you like the brainless thing, let's talk about the storyline. Obviously, the anime doesn't have the best storyline ever, and I don't really expect to have either, right? Because as I said, right, the anime is all about, you know, big oppai, big ass, yeah, big sword, you know, big stuff, right? So, because the storyline itself isn't very good, right? But I don't think I said it's bad either. The storyline is just like, well, we're stuck in this future world, big mecha woman destroyed the planet, it's like medieval time again, even though it's actually the future, right? And then we just fight with a lot of monsters, yeah. I mean, that's kind of basically the storyline, right? But sure, the actual storyline is basically that Anthrax, you know, suddenly popped up, right? Destroyed most of the planet, killed almost all the humans, and then the humans got magic or something. I guess her appearing kind of gave them magic, right? Or created dimensional hosts or whatever, right? So they also have monsters and so on. And then humans, of course, with this dragon guy, which is probably the main character, defeated her, right? Which probably losing, I guess. And yeah. And now they're living in this fantasy, you know, future past thing, right? And it definitely mostly reminded me of Phantasy Star, right? It was Phantasy Star, right? So this is an old Sega game, Sega Genesis, the first version of it. But anyway, the second game is probably the best one. Phantasy Star, or something online. Online is really good. But anyway, Phantasy Star then is a classic sci-fi JRPG game, right? But if you ever played this game, this anime storyline and the magic and so on is very similar, seriously. Maybe inspired by this anime or manga, I mean, who knows, right? But anyway, basically it's like a mixture of, well, yes, we are in medieval time, right? With elves, with hot elf chicks, right? And we got swords and arrows. But we also got this mechas, right? Yeah, we also got sci-fi stuff, we got laser swords, we got mechas. And then we combine that with, you know, spells or whatever, right? So it feels a lot of Phantasy Star, primarily. But I say Phantasy Star has more sci-fi, though, yeah. Phantasy Star is weird in the sense because they have, even in the first game, you have 3 different planets, and you can, like, travel in space between planets, right? But you still fight with, like, swords. Yeah, they fight with, like, laser swords, like a Star Wars, but they can travel through planets, and they throw magic balls. But one thing I like in Phantasy Star, though, and this anime is the same thing, going on for it, is that some people can't use magic, like a robot, like Hukasa, they can't use magic. So some people, like the elves, right, they're very magically, typically elves, right, they're very good at magic, but a robot can't use magic, so they're pretty much strong, right? So for a typical gaming standpoint, that makes sense, right? Because then one party member can be a warrior, right, one can be a mage, you know what I mean? And this anime, yeah, it's very similar in a sense, right? The mechas are like magic immune, it uses technology instead of mechanics, right? And so you mixture, right? Some people, you know, some people were good with magic, some people were good with, you know, building stuff, right? So, but back to, so that's kind of is the premise, right? We have a mixture of mecha, magic, you know, a little bit different races, right? Never really clear in the anime if all the races, like the elves of another dimension, it seems like a mixture of it, that some of them are demi-humans, right? Like they're created by humans being corrupted by this super evil mechanic goddess thing, right? Slash opening this rift of dimension portals, right? And some of the monsters are just some other dimensions. It'd be a mixture of that, right? And then again, same thing, right? Some of the weapons are magic based, some of them are like actually mechanics, so it's a bit back and forth, right? And all that is, you know, that works to me. And of course, that we have the general thing that everything is based on music, right? And then, lastly, I would say this review, right, is that everything is based on magic, right? Yeah. Every magic. No, so I'm kidding. Lastly, I would say that everything is based on music, right? That's pretty fun, yeah. So, if you haven't seen this anime yet, right, everything is basically based on different, mostly called heavy metal, right? Straight up, right? So, Eddie, that's probably the most best sample of it. So basically a lich up here, so his name is just Eddie, right? And it's obviously Eddie from Iron Maiden. So if you ever seen Iron Maiden with the music or whatever, right, you know, number of the beast or so on, right? They have Eddie, right, as their mascot figure of a card, right? And yeah, Eddie in the anime looks exactly like basically Eddie here, right? More or less, right? You know, he's like, you know, and that's what that is. I mean, obviously the main country they are in is named after Metallica, of course. It's called like Metal Ana, something like that. Another country is called Deep Purple, right? And then obviously the prince, which is clearly a dragon, is his name is Lars Uvi, right? You know, Lars Ulrich, you know, is the Metallica things on. So it's obviously a reference to him straight up, right? And etc. Right. So you have a bunch thing, you have Guns N' Roses being mentioned, one is simplest best, right? Megadeth being mentioned, obviously Anthrax herself, the bad woman is mentioned, but also Anthrax is a sick thing, though. But and so on, right? So all the bad guys are basically based on different bands, right? Or system, whatever. And every spell is like some kind of yeah. Every spell is like, I'm gonna throw in the lyrics from Black Sabbath, right? And then it's best spell. So that's really fun, man. It's really fun, yeah. But it's also why I feel this is an anime where you have to look at it and be. I won't use the word brainless, but to some extent turn off your brain, right? This anime I feel is very, very enjoyable. Because I cannot turn off my brain, because if the bad guy is like, I'm from Deep Purple, and I will attack you with my Black Sabbath spell, you know? If the anime is like that, I cannot just be, this anime is cray-cray, right? Yeah, the anime is cray-cray, and if you accept that, I do like the anime a lot. And that's where I can feel, I might have video about it later, but I've seen a few reviews, right? You know, from mostly the left, right? You know, so more from like the Hollywood, whatever, right? And they all hate this anime, yeah. They are like, oh, the main character is a hentai, he's a perv, he, you know, he sleeps with all the ladies, he's a disgusting, blah, blah, blah. They'll hate it, right, because it's so anti-vocal, right? But the thing is, you have to just turn off that shit, right? Honestly, because you're watching an anime like this, right, where the main bad guy in for 2 episodes, this new bad guy, he's Eddie from Iron Maiden, and he's doing like Iron Maiden lyrics to summon magic, you know what I mean? And the bad and the good guy is like, oh, I will fight you with my Guns N' Roses spell, you know? Like, you have to just kind of turn off that, like, oh, is this politically correct? No, and it's written in the 80s. It's written like 30 years ago, right? And then if the main character, you know, like kisses his waifu during the fight, right? And then slaps her on the ass or whatever, and it throws like a fireball at the same time as the enemy. I mean, yeah, it's over the top, right? But that's just how the anime is, because it's like a goddamn weird, you know, combination of typical old school, yeah, fantasy lore, all over the top action, right? And as I mentioned, right, mixture of weird sci-fi with laser swords, but also mechanic, but also magic, right? You have to just gotta be like, whatever, shit happens, right? And the anime feels like a fresh air, right? In the current landscape of shit on Netflix and so on. On Netflix, it feels like a very fresh air. Cyberpunk felt pretty fresh too, but this is more fresh, even though it's so old. But of course, it feels fresh because it's so old, right? It feels fresh because the anime is written actually 30 years ago, and it's so not political correct, right? But it's fun, you know? You have to turn off the brain. And then you feel you enjoyed. I feel I enjoyed it a lot. Lastly, I guess talking about the actual arcs though, I will say it was a minus for me, as I kept saying, when you see it here in this reaction, right? In this reaction part here in this video. And that is that the Abigail lived too long though, yeah. Like the Lich thing was fine, it was 2 episodes, right? Here's the Lich Eddie from Iron Maiden. Perfectly fine, right? Diamond 2 episodes, you know, is that right? And then Abigail had like 6 episodes. He was way too insectable, and it started just getting kind of tedious. How Abigail was like, especially I kept saying Reactioon, but again, you know, when he got double Halloween blasted, right, by NEI and Dark Snyder, and he survives that. I'm just like, yeah, he started feeling like, why is this guy so powerful for, right? You get kind of bored of him. So the storyline I liked up to basically Abigail, and it wasn't terrible for Abigail, but he overstayed welcome, as I keep saying. And yeah, otherwise, I think most parts were good, right? Most bad guys are pretty funny, and also I guess one thing that I like with anime, but it is a bit of mindset, right? And that is that most of the bad guys and the good guys are quite one-dimensional, right? But in a cool, typical way. And I mean that, like, for example, if you buy, you know, a Mario game, right? You don't buy it for the amazing lore it has, right? Bowser is a bad lizard, right? Yeah. But, you know, I think it's a sweet spot, right, with Nintendo. When you play Nintendo games, I think it's a sweet spot where you play them and you kind of enjoy, you know, the Ganon or the boss or whatever, because they're just kind of old, good bad guys, you know. You don't need, like, this super amazing Ganon bad guys, even though people like Twilight Princess. But, yeah, speaking, come on, it's a big evil orc guy, you know, it's whatever, right? You just go with it, right? It's about the gameplay, right? Yeah. And this anime, obviously being based on an old manga, right, feels like that, you know. This is like the kind of the die-hard bad guy, yeah. You watch the movie, he's just an evil guy that wanted to take the bank or whatever, right? It's not very complicated, you know what I mean? You go into this movie, or this anime, right? And you just, oh, the bad guy is Eddie from Iron Maiden, and you fight him with massive explosion, and you summon demons or whatever, and he's summoning a black hole, and shit explodes, and then all the ladies have huge asses, and they run around, because, you know, it's based around this typical heavy metal, dark fantasy, rock music, right? So of course all the ladies are gonna look like typical, you know, music video babes, right? Yeah, and all got big tits or whatever, yeah. So of course they do, right? Yeah, and everything is happening at the same time, right? And you have to, if you look at that mindset, and I really mean it, right? This anime I think is amazing, right? I think it's amazing because if you want that typical old school, you know, just an evil guy, we fight him, explosions, blah blah, you know, that it works well, right? And I really feel it's similar to, like, for example, Nintendo's Bowser, Ganon, and so on, right? But if you watch something like, I don't know, but if you want that more deep story, oh, I want an anime with, you know, a meaningful backstory of the main character, and it's gonna be this motivation. I mean, Abigail basically says he's gonna kill everyone. Abigail is like, I wanna destroy the planet, you know? There's no backstory there, right? We need it. He's just a really bad guy. He's like Ganon. He's one of these, you know, demolish hero and just take over the planet. Yeah, there's no really, you know, nuance, right? This anime is incredibly non-nuanced. But if you have it in mind, I think it works really well, right? But again, then, that's why I really feel it can be on the video, right? But I think it's kind of hilarious, right? I read 2 reviews yesterday, and I'm gonna read more, and maybe make a video about it, right? When you read these, like, you know, Rotten Tomato or whatever, but the reviews, right, of the anime, and they're like, oh, it's so non-political correct, man. Oh, the bad guy is just evil because of being evil. Oh, that's lame. And the women have really big, you know, they got massive oppies. Oh, that's lame. You know, they just complain about this stuff, and I feel like, but that's not the anime you're watching, right? You're watching, and it's basically exactly like I said, right? If you buy a Nintendo game, you don't buy it for amazing storyline. You buy it for the gameplay and the mechanics and so on, right? Of course, I mean, in all exceptions, but you get my point. And you watch this anime, you're watching it for this, like, philosophy and ideology. You're not watching it for, like, oh yeah, this is a meaningful fight. You know, you're watching it for having a woman with a huge ass to fight a zombie guy based on, you know, like a rock music guy. Yeah, you're watching it to have this big oppai lady fight this skeleton from, like, a musical band, right? Because that's how serious anime is, right? And everything again is called, like, Deep Purple and Metallica, and the prince is called Lars, and he can summon dragons or whatever, and he fights this big titty skeleton. You know what I mean? It just makes sense if every anime had to be. It's kind of sad to me, right? I said the last verse here. Please subscribe, like, and so on. But check out the reaction portion, so on, right? But I say, as the final words of this general review, whatever, right? I feel it's kind of sad, you know. You're watching these animes, right? And I just feel like, I'm talking about the politics stuff. I feel sad how I feel like people have to force everything to be the same thing, right? If everything was the same thing, it would be goddamn boring, right? I mean, I don't only watch, you know, big oppai lady fighting zombies, right? But those kind of stuff can be fun too, right? This is what the anime is, right? But and the next anime, maybe there's gonna be an anime about one of my absolute favorite animes of all time is Savage Girls, right? All made in Savage Girls seasons. An anime about 5 young girls, you know, 5 like young ladies trying to understand men or something. I mean, yeah, it's an amazing anime. I think it was the best anime aired that year, right? It's like 19, 20 or whatever, yeah, 19, right? An amazing anime, truly. My favorite anime that year. And this is like the opposite, right? The anime is super vocal, so to speak, right? Two of them is a lesbian, right? And so on, yeah, and super vocal anime, right? You know, written by a woman for a woman and so on. Yeah, it's amazing. But it's amazing anime not because it's vocal, of course, but because it's so well written that it happens to be vocal, right? Because it's like one of them is a lesbian and she wants to explore, you know, kissing a girl. How do I approach my friend that I'm in love with? She's in love with her best friend, you know, or second best friend, yeah. But yeah, she's in love with one of her friends, and how can I tell her that I like her? So you know what I mean. So that anime is really, really amazing, right? And that anime is better than anime. Don't get me wrong. That anime is a masterpiece. Okay, that anime, best anime in my life, yeah. Best anime that year. So that anime is better than anime. But still, right? They are so different apart, right? But they can both be enjoyable, right? So I think that's kind of the weird thing too when I see these, you know, reviews from Hollywood or whatever, right? Yeah, they are like, oh, this anime sucks, man. Where's the lesbian chick that wants to, you know, kiss her best friend or something? Where's the anime? Where's the storyline about a woman living in medieval Japan, you know, that is in love with her this character or something? They said, yeah, like, come on, like, you can have more than one genre. That's how I feel, right? But those people don't, yeah, they're like, I think there's one main thing with these people. They only like one genre, right? You know what I mean? They only want every genre to be one thing. Yeah, it's already hard, right? But it's like, where is that thing? Where is the Yuri scene, right? Between Kai and Sean or something, yeah. I wouldn't mind it though, I guess. But anyway, we just got plus one. You see it now here on Twitch, right? I'll try to edit it and then throw it up probably later on YouTube this evening. Tomorrow we're doing one of the other waifu TV streams. It's kind of like a Gintama character, honestly. I feel it's kind of like Gin, where he's like, oh, here's my ramen, it's my Santa Claus suit, right? They got this weird powers, right? It's very over the top. And then Gara had this fake out that he's like pretending he's dead. He's like, I'm not dead, man. Like, how could you survive that? And so on. It has a lot of these like forward wall jokes, right? And so on. And especially then, what can I say, right? I mean, it's just so over the top, everything, right? Yeah. But I love it with them, right? And like, for example, Thunder Tides Nei using her Thunder Tides to save his life, man. I was like, yes. She got massive Thunder Tides. Here we go. Yeah, her ridiculous Thunder Tides are perfect for this rescue mission. Yeah, but I like how he's like, how could you understand that my face is my weak spot? his face is like in the middle of it. He's like, how could you realize that my face that's completely in the middle of it, completely exposed, is my only weakness? You're like, yeah, how? And yeah, Nei is so thirsty now. She's become so thirsty now after he gave her his heart. Yeah, they haven't had too much recap, I feel, this part. There's much more recap in part 2 than in part 1. Yeah, because only again the recap. The first minute recap now, yeah. Unfortunately, you can probably skip this bit here, yeah. I like how he's complaining about it. You shit, man! It's so lame, yeah, lame. God. Oh, like that's some name, man! This anime is so edgy, holy shit. He's like the most perverted main character ever. Yeah, he immediately grabs his waifus, you know. Yeah, before he fights, he needs to power up by... I said earlier, I said yesterday. Before he fights, right, he also needs to power up by touching her. He's like, he's basically the Melodas, I guess, in that sense. Yeah, him and Melodas, man. It's like, I need to get some action before I fight, you know. I'm an incubus. But now she's so into it that she's like, yes, Dodge! Yeah, she's so into it now. She's happy he's hugging her before the fight. But her body's so absurd, you know, with her absurd curves, right? I mean, half the anime, she's just so curvy. Yeah. Attack. He's a mecha. He got some weird. It's like, or Abigail laser or something. Something that is stupid. It's like, haha, ultimate ability, Abigail laser beam. See, it's just a gigantic robot. Abigail Collider. Magic of Asian world, yeah, but it's technology, right? It's magic of Asian past. No, I think it's just technology, man. I think it's straight up is technology. Asian weapon. They are Asian sorcerers. I guess it means scientists, right? This is a weird thing that is like, yeah, that's right. This thing was built by an Asian sorcerer. Yeah? For sure, I mean, Anthrax is just a bigger mecha, right? So she's gonna have beams too, right? She's gonna have even bigger beams. She's gonna have massive super beams, of course. Abigail just wants to kill everyone. Yeah, he just like he doesn't really care what she does to the goddess. He just wants to like destroy everything. There's no really motivation for his personality or whatever, but I guess he's just like a doomsday guy. It never really makes sense how physically strong he is. I don't know, he's just very strong. I mean, the whole anime is just Dark Snyder being powerful, so yeah, he's an original OP main character, right? Yeah, he's before all the isekais we had Dark Snyder, he just throws him away like nothing, man. This is like, just flexes, man. Yeah, he's old as the current time frame, right? Again, he is the White Dragon, isn't he? He has to be the White Dragon one. He's as old as the universe. My magic is so powerful, even if you're magic immune, it won't be magic immune. It's something stupid with Dark Snyder. He's like, I know you're magic immune, but I got the greatest magic ever, so it's gonna work anyway. Yeah, like, it doesn't make any logical sense, but this is kind of how Dark Snyder is, right? He got some weird black attack. Doing. How is this spell unique then? I don't know, maybe it works like an automatic then because it's like it consumes stuff. Maybe she will comment. I don't know, I feel she's maybe Anthrax. Maybe she will be powerful enough to come here, but I don't see the princess dying though. Maybe it's her in like an not her full form or something. Yeah, maybe she's gonna attack him in like half her power or something. Yeah, she can see it because the princess. Her life is again probably the secret, right? To. Oh, he's fine somehow. What? But he was eaten. How did he survive this shit? What? I guess Anthrax got up, but how? What is happening? What? Seriously? What? What? But how did he get up and just own him? Maybe Kalsul saved him? What? Like seriously, don't make any sense here. He's good up. What even sliced? He's just using that. She was like amazing badass against Abigail. Now she's like, Dodge! Can she attack Abigail in the back or something? She really became useless now, yeah. She's standing screaming, no, not my boyfriend. See, this anime is over, yeah. This will be the last episode. The anime has a lot of weird fart monologues I didn't expect to have, yeah. The anime is over. It's more and more fart monologues I will ever. This is like the fourth time he dies in one season. He just had a cat saying anime is over, man. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I won. He's like, I don't know, man. He's like, he died yesterday too, man. I see Dark Snyder. He died twice. I watched the anime yesterday. I think it's like the fourth time Dark Snyder dies, right? Also the illusion with the spider. Yeah, like 5 times. He has died, I believe, 5 times now. This is the 5th time Dark Snyder dies in one season. He's such an MCU main character. He comes back again. Yeah, inside the princess. Yeah, of course you put the CD inside the body. But I mean, I've been saying that for a while, man. It's just so obvious. The CD inside the princess. Come on, it's a classic fantasy. It's dark fantasy, baby. Because the princess, because her body is gonna be the CD. If she dies, the demon strike today, basically. It's so absurd. No one ever believes Dark Snyder is ever dead, right? Do you think Dark Snyder's gonna die, man? He almost gets up again. He's the I think he's really like the. This is the 80s, but he's like, you know, one of the first true OP main characters in the anime. He's like, oh, I get up again. Oh, what? Flexes and he's back again. Yeah, he just flexes. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm fine again. Okay, good. Good, Dark Snyder. Yeah. You know, he's like, yeah. Typical Dark Snyder, man. He's like, my strategy, unscrew it. I just destroy everyone. All of a sudden, this anime, yeah. I mean, of course, that doesn't mean that. Obviously, she was the seal. I've been saying that for like at least an episode. It was super obvious. But you know, again, this one 80s, right? So you have to think about this. Actually, anime, this manga was written like before Monster, right? Which is comedic like parrots. But anyway, I like it. I mean, I think it's a very classic trope, right? that the princess herself is the seal. But I think it works on this anime because this anime isn't trying, especially given it's based on 80 manga, right? But it's not trying when the manga right, to be something like super twisty or whatever, right? It's very, very tropey, typical like JRPG or whatever. Right? Oh, here's the princess. She is herself is the legendary seal, right? You know. And but that's honestly one thing I like this anime, right? For example, yesterday we watched Engage Kiss. I think it's kind of like a weird anime, right? And it's trying so much to do this like weird hentai plotline that it just goes into being predictable, right? This also goes predictable, but if it's gonna be predictable, I prefer it being a trope predictable, right? Yeah, like it's predictable because it's following classic established tropes, not predictable because this is trying and it's contrived, but we understand what they're trying to do, right? So I don't know, I like it honestly. Yeah, I like it. I liked it. Honestly, this anime, right? I'll talk about it more in the final review, but I feel that Bastard here is like, it's like a breath of fresh air in like some weird retro way. Yeah. Like it's just like, no, I don't care about this. The main character is super anti-vocal, right? Just grabs them, the ass or whatever, yeah. He's like, got him hentai. And, you know, the princess, of course, her life is the seal thing. And, you know, the women are like, no, not my boyfriend, no, and so on, yeah. And he summons the tentacle monsters to attack him and so on. It's just so, like, just old school classic, man. Almost it's refreshing. Yeah, he's like anti-immune. He's an anti-magic. He's like, haha, I'm used to... I love he survived, but the whole cast that got destroyed around him, that'll be funny, yeah. It's like everything except him is getting destroyed, right? It's like a massive napalm, and he just stands there like, well, I'm fire immune, so yeah. Maybe he's right though. Maybe it is really because magic comes from mecha, so but yeah, he can suddenly wind and I love this, like yeah. She's like, I'm gonna try this weird. Yeah, she's gonna do it too, right? She's gonna double Halloween, baby. That is awesome. Yeah, I can do what my man can do. Here we go. Here's the waifu attack. That's not fair. You get to double Halloween me? That is awesome. Yeah, she can do another Halloween over him. gotta get the angle in there, baby! Yes! And the hottest Halloween ever. I like she's like, how does she know that? It's like 1.5 times hotter than the Black Sabbath spell? How would she know that? Like, how we tested this? Well, clearly a double Halloween is like 50% hotter than Black Sabbath. You're like, I guess? How would anyone have tested that? But no, yeah, she's so turned on by this. Yeah, oh my god, she's so happy now. Oh, we're married together. Oh, she's like, it's like intercourse for her. She's like, oh yeah, we're doing it. Fusing our magics. Yeah, for her, she's so happy. Oh, she's so happy. We are fusing our magical spells together. Look how happy she is. Oh yeah, this is her dream, man. This is like her you know, let's say it. She's so. I was still alive. How undestructible is this guy? I don't think he has that much damage either. He's just like really tanky. Yeah, like he has his beams right, but come on, this mecha is indestructible because he gets up again here. Yeah, like this is Christ. She has to be absurdly indestructible, right? What is this? Well, okay, the ninjas they do give katanas. Yeah, they're forgiving katanas. That's true. How did Yoko get faster than them? Yeah, how did she? He won't die! Yoko believes! She's just like, he's my Lucian. Yeah, gotta believe, guys! Gotta believe! Gotta give him the... Yeah, Nakama believe! She's just like, I believe in power of friendship instead. That's it, his name is the best, man. Composite Demonic King Omega Abigail. Yeah, Omega Abigail, man. I have to say, I feel they kind of overplayed Abigail's defense points. Yeah, it's almost like boring now. I wish Kalsu would come or something. It feels like he's obviously gonna come as well after this fight, right? This fight is too long, I feel. I do feel that, yeah, Abigail being like, he's been there for like, what, 4 episodes now? He's way too indestructible, seriously. Yeah, I feel Abigail isn't that interesting. He probably always says welcome. Now you don't know why they're always like, you know, the princess is like, Dark Snyder! And then we see her lying there, you know, like, you know, and she's like, haha, Dark Snyder! It's like, why is that a thing? Like, I don't know. I mean, I like it, but it's also so absurd. It's like a Soma thing, but... Yeah, it's like watching Soma in Soma, but even less logical. Because at least in Soma, you know, they need to eat their food, right? Like, honestly, it's a big difference, right? At least in Soma, they eat the food. But she just gets that like Soma scene even without the food. She just lies on the floor. It's like, what? And now Nay's upside down for some reason? And she's also in space. This anime keep doing this etchy scene. This anime is really etchy. Like, holy shit, man. Like, why is she crying out in space for? I don't know why. It's just, every time it happens to me, I'm always wondering, like, why is she out in space crying for? Like, powering up here. But it's like, I mean, I don't understand why she's up in space, floating naked in space, like, I love you, and it's just crying, and you're like, but how did she get to space? Oh, the other girls are back? Man, what happened to the bonus waifus? Yeah, they're kind of side waifus. They're obviously not as valuable waifus. Yeah, they're not like the main waifus. Yeah, it's just so weird that she's like, I love you, and then she's like, floating in space for some reason. That's what I mean, honestly. I feel like Soma does it better though, you know. I love Soma. Soma's better because in Soma, of course, they eat food, right? And they eat like, oh, this watermelon, it reminds me of this country, you know, and they suddenly they're in Paris, right? And they're like, oh yes, this is typical, you know, beef thing from Paris, and yes, right. So that makes sense, right? They eat food and they get teleported to like where the food connects to, like a jungle or the winter or whatever, right? But in this anime, she's just floating in space for no reason. She's like in space. Yeah, she's a true love interest. She's the only one that really believes in him. I give you everything. I will even do it, boy. She's like, Lucian, if you win, I will sleep with you. What? But it's my last anime though. Come on, it's like, come on, man. This anime is hilariously. It's like old school, you know, weirdness. Yeah, it's just like, well, I promise to marry you if you win this when I defeat you. Can that make sense, honestly, from my, yeah, Dark Snyder is like, it's when I destroy you, right? Yeah, like, it's, I think, but that's why he's like a fun main character. He's like, I don't even care if you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy, I know, I don't care about saving people, I just when I get revenge, right? for you, yeah, like, what's it called? It's mouth, basically, right? I mean, more the cannon mouth, but yeah, sure. Like, it's a typical mecha issue, right? When he opens up the mouth to shoot, but like, double Halloween, I will help you, husband. Yeah, come on, that was a cooler scene, honestly. I think that she also like, yeah, and like basically like Kawamiri. Now he dies again. This is the 7th time Dark Snyder dies this season. Now he got like cut in two there, but he's probably fine because the evil god is coming back or something. It's like the 7th time he died like last episode. Like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy dies all the time. And he died for the 7th time or something. I feel like no one would ever care if this character dies because they were like, well, I've seen him die like twice just today alone, right? Yeah. He's still alive, come on. Like, this anime, you just can't care about the main character death, man. I mean, of course she's crying here, but it's just like, yeah, in this anime, right, you just can't take it. Is he really dead? Gara is crying too. You know, yeah, Schneider! But it's just like, I just can't take it seriously, right? You know what I mean? Like, you watch the anime, and sure, in most animes, you would have been like, yeah, this is pretty bad, he's dying, but now he's gonna pet his waifu. He's like, hey girl, you're so hot. Yeah, he's like, he's fine, of course, for some reason. What? I lost my legs, I don't need that. That is so ridiculous. No, come on, he died like 3 times this fight alone. You damn hentai, yeah, of course, I hate you. Dark Snyder, you the worst. The only one that truly believes. Yeah, she's the best girl, man. The only one that truly believes, right? Yeah. Gara's like, yeah, she got more faith than I do. Yoko? Not Yoko! Is Abigail still alive? Man, this guy is way too immortal. Holy shit, this is not good right now. I'm tired of Abigail not dying, man. Holy shit, this is ruinous for me. Why can't Abigail die for? My god, this as immortal as freaking Dark Snyder. Oh, no, I am bored of the Abigail being alive, seriously. I have to say, I think it really kind of devalues this season here, in the end, unfortunately, that, yeah, I did not see Abigail just surviving for like forever, right? And this definitely should have been where he lost, right? Where she is like, I can also do Halloween! And then do a double Halloween? Come on. Come on, this should have been the final straw, whatever you call it, yeah. This absolutely should have been the final straw. When she was like, I will also jump in, right? Yeah, I will assist you, you know, I love you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. When she jumps in here, and of course, yeah, joins him into the fight, Do this double Halloween, right? It's like massive DPS, right? Everyone's happy, everyone dies or whatever. That absolutely should be the scene where of course they would have won, right? Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Yeah, what can I say, right? No, but it's just unfortunate. It's just honestly it's unfortunate because I really think that they should have won there. Honestly, I think this. I like that Yoko is the only one that believes in him. That Yoko is the only one that truly was like, no, he's my Dark Snyder. He can't lose. That was good as one. But this whole thing, yeah, like what? They've been fighting this guy for like 4 episodes now, and he's still alive too. I think he's overstayed way too much. So he grabbed Yoko now. So he got the waifu. He grabbed the tentacle. He tentacled that waifu, man. It's like the 11th time he tackled some waifu too, right? How is he still alive? Jesus Christ. I think he's become the worst character in the anime. How? I mean, the oppas are popping up. Of course it's gonna explode it. My god, this anime. The bastard! The guy's gonna be like, yeah, the guy's gonna explode the clothes. Okay, this scene looks good now though, when he holds, when he's just floating in front of himself. Yeah, he's like, come on, Lucian! Yeah, but this scene looks like when he's just holding her in the tentacles in front of himself. Oh my god, this anime. Yeah, that's it, but he's just floating her around there. It looks pretty spicy, man. This scene is probably the more. This is like better than the slime scene. The slime scene was also very spicy. That is true. The slime. This scene was very edgy, man. It keeps being like Yoko in the tackle. Oh my god, the older wives are back. Yeah, they're finally back. The other bonus waifus. Yeah, you gotta go to. Yeah, I said earlier. The other girls he slept with. Yeah, he smashed them all hard, man. He's been planning for this. Think about it. Kai! Yeah. Sean! Yeah, come on. You gotta remember that Doc Snyder planned for this because he was like, I've been smashing some waifus, man. So they're in my army now, yeah. Nei-san! Yeah! Nei-sama! I love it. That we saw them earlier. Like, yeah, because all the waifus, yes, like the waifu army is like, yes! Come on, this anime is epic, man. Yeah, he's like, that's right, I got a bunch of waifus. Instead of, he's like, love makes you weak, you know. He's like, yeah. Love is a weakness, right? But, you know, this guy's like, no. Love makes me stronger because the more I slept with female characters, right, the more they fight for me, so. yeah, Doc Snyder is like, you fool. I had a lot of fun time with these waifus, and that's what they're gonna protect me, right? From immediate death, right? Alive for some reason. Why can't you touch her for them? It's like, maybe I need to be alive to break it, for some reason, then to break it. But yeah, I love that she goes to her waifu's back. Yes, Nei-sama! Yeah! Freaking, she's obviously Casca, I mean, not Casca, but Sol, I mean. Yeah, Black Clover. Nei-sama! Nei-san, yeah. But I love it. He was like, love makes you weak. Like, no, it doesn't, because I got a bunch of waifus. Yeah. So in this anime, you actually get stronger by love because you can recruit a bunch of, you know, love-sick women that will fight for you. Yeah, no. Love makes me stronger because it gives me an army of hot babes. Yeah, it's like. Gara, weakling. You're a man, Gara. This is for the ladies. Hey, okay, fine. I also want to about. No, shut up. You haven't slept with Doc Snyder. You can't join our army. You can't be in the wife army, Gara, okay? You're on his best friend. Stop pretending you're his wife. Oh yeah, these nice guys that haven't done anything for like 20 episodes. I guess they also exist in the anime. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're gonna fight the skeletons, so yeah, find the time for these, like, you know, pathetic night guys to do something, right? Sure, yeah, they're like, we can fight the skeletons, like that's fine, yeah. But honestly, yeah, this is kind of where these ninjas and knights and so on are useful, right? Like the army of nobody undead people. Yeah, now actually these soldier guys are actually useful for once. But honestly, the ninjas have done nothing in the whole anime. But yeah, they can fight like level 1 skeletons. Yeah, yes, Umaira! It's like, finally, the ninjas can kill something. They're already dead. What I mean, the ninjas don't do much, right? Except do next phases. Now, maybe they can become some kind of liquid, some kind of teleporter there. Maybe they're gonna fuse then. But he also showed a mirror. Something else, but okay. That angle of name, man, yeah. It's anime. There's summoning a skeleton monster and it zooms in on Nate's butt, man. It's like, why? Why not, man? Why not? This thing looks pretty cool, though. Yeah, this looks pretty badass. He's like a massive skeleton. This guy's Abigail is the master of fusion, man. So now he fused like a million skeletons together. Yeah, he's the king of fusion. First he fused, you know, the mechas. Now he's using like... But it still looks like he's like a gigantic skeleton, though. Yeah, I don't know if it looks that powerful. Gara, he also loses his body part every episode too, man, yeah. Gara is like also half dead every episode. I can grow my body arms back or something. It's like he probably can. He's like, nah, I think my arms will grow back, right? She was just like boob armor. Somehow she protected Dark Knight with her up-eyes. Good episode though that all the it was way better when the older wives also entered. They're like, we are the waifu squad! We will fight you! It's like, I don't need your help, kid. Yeah, he reacts to his power up. He reacts to the fusion power, whatever that is. Whatever was gonna happen. He's like, I don't need your help, kid. Yeah, I got my own stuff. he's done like 8 times now. I don't know how he's his power. Nothing matters his anime. He just gets up again. Dark Snyder! He just gets up again. Nothing ever says his anime. Dark Snyder just gets up again. He's like, Nani! How can you still be alive, Dark Snyder? I killed him for the 5th time today. He had a little inner mission there with Lucian, and it was like, no, but I like this is why I like the title because Lucian, you know, was like hinting to like, let's fusion up or something. I have this hidden. Lucian is like the soul or whatever, right? You know, the holy dragon soul or whatever. Yeah, I can give you a real power up or whatever, right? Man, this episode was by far was etchy though. He casts her around like a shield too. He tentacles Yoko, right? He uses her like a body armor in front of himself. This was some great strategy, man. Yeah, this was some high level when it comes to double waifus, right? The bonus waifu is, yeah. She's like, Kaisha! She's like, yeah, I got you, girl. So they come in there, right? Gonna help out with the action. I'm gonna do some action. You wanna be the center of attraction after all, yeah. But I mean, this was good, definitely. But otherwise, man, Abigail is like freaking immortal. And it's pretty clear now to me, obviously, Abigail, I guess Kalsu and Antrax was making the season. But yeah, as I said earlier, right, before the episode, Abigail is way too immortal. And now he's summoning a necromancer army against them and so on. His fight is way too long. Yeah, like I would say, like the Abigail has been surviving so long, is definitely, probably, I put the score 1 down, right, for this anime. Which is way, I feel too overly on him, right. But like everything with Nate is funny, man. Like why is she lying there like they're shaking her, you know. My god, man. The war 50 years ago. Yeah, Lars is obviously the dragon. Lars Metallica. Yeah, Lars Ulrich from Metallica. Yeah. He gave you love! Yeah. He made you feel love? No. Exactly. We already know this shit. Yeah, stop expositioning. Damn, come on, man. The reader already knows this. We've been over this backstory, yeah. I don't need the flashback. I already know episode 1 again. Spell. Oh, Ifrit comes back. Yeah, best bro Ifrit, you know. I like Ifrit is his best friend, man. Come on, his true best friend is Ifrit. He was holding back against me. He's just so fiery, man. He's a living fire guy. He's summoning more naked man, okay. And you can fuse them even more! What if I summon more skeletons? Now though, they're playing open during the fight, so we know it's gonna finally win here. Yeah, they're like opening time. And you see Yoko in her bathtub all the time, yeah. You're gonna play the opening, you know, so now we know it's a serious moment here. No, it's so animated. I mean, do they play the opening starts playing, you know, yeah. Finally gonna win! Finally defeated, man. Yeah. Da 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 da! Yeah, Sugai! Like, yay! Yoko is like, I believe! Yeah! The legendary wizard! There's way too many waifus. They're like, yay! You're gonna cheer in the squad. It's like, it's a bunch of ladies that are thirsty. They're like, woo! Standing behind him, shaking it. Yeah. Dark Snyder! Oh, Dark Snyder! You did it, Dark Snyder! It's adorable. Now he's falling. He's dying again for like the, I don't know, 8th time or something. Look at that Nei-sama scene. Oh god, I love every scene with Nei, man. It's so absurd. This anime is so ecchi, man. Every Nei scene, but she's like lying there. There's really weird angles. You're like, yeah, to show off. But why? I don't know why she even is concerned anymore. She's like, no, Lucian, don't die for the 9th time. So many. He's a big horror, man. He has way too many female interests, yeah. Now they're all gonna cry and so on. He got way too many waifus. This guy is surrounded by the waifus, man. They're all like, Dasher! But yeah, come on, honestly, I don't see how anyone would think, right, that he would die. Like, seriously, right? He's gonna like, oh, that's some big action there, Yoko. But I still love you. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're my hentai boyfriend though. It's like, Jesus Christ. How is Abigail still alive? What? How is Abigail still alive? This is bullshit. What? Why won't he ever die for? What? Holy shit, this guy is way overstated welcome. This last arc of the anime is pretty much worse than all the other arcs, man. Abigail is so annoying. Okay, now Yoko's like, no! Yeah, she's gonna do the classic. Oh yeah, we killed both of you. He's like, I will just blast both of you with Dark Snyder. Yeah, it's very ecchi, man. She runs over to fight him in like, yeah, I mean, this is great. She's running against his tentacles here, wearing like a towel to, yeah, to push him off here. Very good. Yoko's a cool character, though. I mean, Yoko is a good female character, yeah. And now he has like, no, yeah, it falls off. And of course, that is the ecchi when she, like, you know. Yeah, but the breeze takes her up by stuff. Yeah, the rocks. Cover the rocks. I mean, it's so Netflix. Come on, the manga she probably see everything, right? I will imagine in the manga that you see her is falling, right? But in the anime, of course, you know, in the anime, yeah, the breeze protects her up ice. And then Abigail still isn't dead because he turns into like some Gara being like a civilian in this country, man. Yeah, they're always like, oh, what is happening with the sun? They're always like, God damn it, man. Very annoying being a civilian in this world, man. Yeah, you're like, oh my god, this is super annoying. Yeah, you're like, oh, shit's happening. What? The princess might die from this, though. I doubt that though, but if she dies, yeah, then Darsho! Caution. See, she's kind of useless now though. Gara is always the guy doing everything, yeah. He constantly take that rock, man. Like, come on, yeah, you could easily check that. Why is just Gara has to die all the time? Oh, this is so weird when they're in space. They're gonna shine up her. They're gonna censor her falling here, right? They're gonna. Man, this actually looks pretty ecchi though when she's falling though. But the ending always looked ecchi, right? So this kind of like a special ending if she's falling in space here. Oh yeah, it's flying after Yoko's oppai there. Man, this looks very ecchi. They're not Kazus who are these some other humans that are still fighting or something? What? No, the bad guys. Lord Kazus. Yeah, Kazu never did shit this whole anime system. Samurais. No, we need some samurais. We got ninjas. Now we get samurais. Okay. Yeah, so now we get the samurais. Is he in his samurai country now? It's probably Yoko or something. It's probably Yoko with no clothes on. It's probably one of the waifus now, but it's... Yeah, so now we're in the samurai country. Is it in Japan then? Because it referred to, you know, Nevada and so on earlier, right? Oh yeah, Zack Snyder, of course. And Yoko, I guess. Oh, it's Lucian. No, she's back in. Yeah, I don't know. I see. Yeah, she's like it's Lucian and Yoko. Yeah, that was a powerful ending there with Yoko. Yeah, are we gonna have us in two? To be continue. I don't know if they announced season 2 or something of this anime, but they definitely didn't end it in a very like. They haven't explained anything with Dark Snyder. No, but that was a powerful scene though. Yoko crying there. That was a good bam. So she gets out there, right? Lucy and Yoko's alive. Metallica got nuked, right? But Abigail's body. So let's first review last episode. Yeah, it was kind of adorable, right? Because we got Yoko, and Yoko's fight was great. I think Yoko's a good character, though. Yeah, she's a strong, independent woman, right? Yeah, she kind of went over there and fought Abigail, right, with tackle power, so on, beat him, destroyed the cliff, and they fell down, right? And then, of course, they got teleported away, whatever, right, and survived. But I will say this here immediately, right? I didn't like how Abigail really overstayed the welcome, right? I'm talking about more in the full review as well, right? But immediately, I keep saying it during this streaming, right? But Abigail was like the bad guy for what? Episode like, when did it start? Like 19, I guess? Right? 19, 20, yeah, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. He was the bad guy for like 6-7 episodes. It's like a quarter of the season, right? With only Abigail. So, it felt like this fight could have been way shorter. The manga is probably the same, right? I mean, I get it. The manga is probably like 10 chapter, whatever, plus of him fighting as well, right? But yeah, it felt like they just kept fighting him over and over again. Like it was like here comes NEI and Lucy, NEI, Lucy, and whatever. Dark Snyder do the double Halloween. He survives that. It was like okay. Then he gets back up again, like in this last episode, and he summons the necromancer army, and they're fighting all the waifus and all the soldiers with necromancers, and you're like, Jesus Christ, man, this guy is absurd immortal. And when he finally died, he exploded into a nuke and destroyed the city anyway. So this guy was just absurdly powerful. And it got into like the extremity, right, of how he really overstayed welcome. But Yoko had a great scene though, yeah. Yoko last part was very good. But anyway, we just got plus one.